Okay guys, welcome to your art class. Today we have a hatching technique. We are going to do shadow using lines. This is my pencil, here my eraser. Ready for the action. Here I have my markers. You can see this is very white one. Very dark, very nice, ready to go. Nice, nice. Okay, this is a fine point marker for very fine lines. You can use it for details. Now, you can use all the materials you have at hand. Very important. If you don't have markers, you are going to use crayons. If you don't have crayons, you can use pencils, even a pen. Here, this is the crayons I used to create this artwork here. And the ruler. Okay, this is the ruler, 12 inches ruler, 5 inches ruler. Now I will show you a trick. If you don't have a ruler and don't know how to make straight lines, bend this paper this way and this way here. You see, then you will follow that marks. Very easy. You can follow straight lines in a very easy way without ruler. These are techniques. If you don't have ruler, if you have a ruler, you can use it for this. Maybe you can trace around a book and create the frame, this frame. Okay, got it. This is the idea. Now, here we go. I sent to you the workshop. In the worksheet, there's everything written and illustrated. This is the same. You will follow these lines, these gray lines. You will trace over them this way. Take your time to do it. You see, if you want to use the ruler, be free to do it. Take your time. This is a precision process. You can see. Now let's finish this first square. In this square, this is diagonal lines. This is the first one. Now, in the second square, we're going to follow this one, the first diagonal line. Here, notice that it's the same at the first square, but now we're going to add a second pattern of lines here. Second pattern lines. It will look like a mesh. You see, now in the next one we are going to add another row of line, another pattern of line. It will be 3 patterns inside this square, 3 patterns of vertical lines, because the first one were diagonal. These diagonal lines first. Now, the other row of diagonal lines. We are repeating here. And the last one, the vertical lines to close. Here we go. You got it. Okay guys, this is it. Now, inside this we are going to add every line, every one of the patterns. Each one of the patterns we are going to add inside here. The first one is the first pattern, the second pattern, of lines. You see? Then the third pattern of lines, these vertical lines. And now the last one, the horizontal lines to close. And you see it's getting darker and darker. The more lines you add, more darker it will be. Now I will show you. Sorry. Now I will show you an example. It will be the same project, the same exercise, but this time I will do it everything in just one square. The first diagonal lines, the second row of diagonal lines too. Then we go the third. The third vertical lines row here, and the last one, the horizontal lines. You see it's getting darker. If you continue adding these lines, it will become more and more dark. There's a way to create shadows with lines. I will demonstrate now. I will draw a jar here. As an example of how you can do it. Remember, inside on the document I sent to you, there's the whole exercise, and you can repeat it. You can repeat that exercise all the times you need it to understand. Watch the video every time you need it. Practice to understand this. We're going to create a contrast. Notice immediately I throw that lines in that background. The jar became more prominent. You can see the contrast, how the jar now looks more white and the background loose. The background is just gray. It's not white anymore. Now we add some shadows here using just lines. Can you imagine that? Using just lines, everything just change immediately. And the lights comes from this way, so we'll add the lights just with lines. And now you have a lot of contrast. You have a full illustration there. Okay, now I will draw another one with, I will change the line. I will use the curly, it's like the curly hair, curly line. You can use all types of line, and each line will do a different character to your artwork. A different motif, character. It will be a very different look and feel. You will see how a line can change and affect the way you see a portrait. This line is more decorative. It's beautiful, looks beautiful. Immediately the background became gray. Everything changed, and the jar, you see how the jar, the white of the jar looks more prominent. And I'm doing the same design. I'm not changing anything, just the line I'm using. Now the shadow will be curly too. This is in black and white because we are practicing, but if you want to do it later on color, you're welcome. You can use colors, you can use a lot of media. So this is it. I hope you enjoy. I'm very grateful for you. Thank you very much. Continue learning and practice, okay? See you soon.